So the previous video I posted was titled, "Everyone had a car except me." Well, now your boy got a whip ski. Shit, boy got a. But throughout this process of getting my first car, I learned a lot. I'll get back to that at the end. Also, keep in mind, as I'm telling y'all this story about how I got my car, keep in mind, the person that sold me this car is essentially my uncle. He's my aunt's brother, so technically he's my uncle, but not really. To make sure you guys aren't confused, let's call this so-called Uncle Tev. So as I was feeling hopeless about buying a car, because first of all, I didn't trust anyone. Like, I'm not trying to get a bust down, beat down car. And bro, I didn't have any money. Buying a decent car would be like 10K. I'm broke as fuck. Like, with the amount of money I had, the best car I could get would be older than me. As I was feeling hopeless about buying a car, suddenly I got a call from my aunt telling me that her brother wants to get rid of his car and that he wants to give it to me. Now, in that moment, I was feeling a little geek. I was a little happy because I thought he was gonna give it to me for free. For the free ski, but no, that was not the case. And it was the most random call ever. Like, first of all, she never calls me in the first place. And if you know me, I've been trying to get a car for the longest. So when I got done with that call, right after, Uncle Tev hit me up, texting me saying,
"Hi man, how are you? Told me that you need a car. I have a car for you. It's in great condition. It's sitting in my driveway. I was going to sell it. It's..."
Then he goes on sending me an example of the car, showing me a picture. And I looked at it, I was like, pretty decent car. The color wasn't too crazy, you know. And it's 2009. Well, it's not older than me. That's all that mattered. And then after looking at the car, then I thought to myself, like, how many miles does it have? He was like, low 100K. So to me, I'm thinking like low 100,000 is like 120K, 110K, at most 130K. So now I think to myself, why would he be selling a car for $2,800 that's in great condition, that has low mileage? It just didn't make sense to me. It just didn't make sense. But you know, I just wanted a car. I completely disregarded everything. So I continued pondering about why would he sell a car for that low of a price with that low of a mileage? So I did what any young adult would do that knows nothing about cars. I called my mom. When I was on the phone with my mom, she told me to try to negotiate a price. I don't know who she thinks I am. I tried my best, and that did not work. As I tried to negotiate, he goes on to say like, "All right, man, by the time you get back to me, that will be gone. It'll be gone." So I'm thinking like, damn, how many people want this car? So fast forward to a week later, he calls me on Thanksgiving break, telling me that he wants me to come see the car for myself, see how it looks, see if there's anything wrong with it. But like I said, I don't know anything about cars. I don't know what exactly I would be looking at. I would just be looking at the color and the inside, and that's it. But then again, I still kept thinking like, why is this car so cheap, right? And so I go on and ask him like, is there anything wrong with the car? And then he's like, no, what? Why would you think that? We're family. I would never sell you a car that has problems. Like, we're family. Like, I would never sell you, like, we're family. Like, so as we continue to talk, he's still, you know, yapping about me coming to his house to see the car. Keep in mind, he lives about an hour and a half from where I was. So he came to me, and that's what happened. There's no way I was going to him. So he pulled up on me a few days after, and then I see the car. And at first glance, not gonna lie, at first glance, that shit was beautiful. I'm gonna keep it a buck. It even had a little spoiler, and you know, I'm not even gonna spoil it. I'll show you at the end. At first glance, I was like, it's not a bad car, pretty decent looking car. You know, not a mom car, not a hunchback, not none of that. And then I saw that it was push to start. Yeah, bro sold me. As soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, yeah, do you want the money now? But I looked at the mileage. I remember how he was like, yeah, it's low 100K. It was not low 100K. It was 160,000 miles. And guess what? That is not low 100K. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not low 100K. So he lied about that. That's a red flag that I ignored. And lesson learned. Next time, I'll make sure to take that into consideration. So as I continued, you know, looking around, checking the car out, you know, he was, you know, going over all like the legal, you know, all the paper documents, the title, registration, all that. And then when we were done, you know, doing the paper, you know, I signed my name. He told me to pay him right then and there. I was like, well, that's what I did in my head. But yeah, you know, I was like, oh, right now, I don't really have that much money, you know. And he was like, oh, I thought you were gonna pay me now. I was like, oh, I just. So yeah, I paid him. And you know, this is where I fucked up. He left with the car. Yeah, he left. He went home with my car. And I paid him. And I did not have the car. Anyways, I proceeded and called my mom, as any young adult that is living life, being clueless. And so that's what I did. I called my mom. She got mad at me for paying him the full price. And at first I was like, it's not that expensive. You know, why are you tripping about the price? He was like, what if the car has problems and you have to pay insurance? You know, I didn't really think about that. And she was right. I did have to pay insurance, and it was not cheap. Fast forward to, you know, after I did all that paperwork, you know, got my license plate, did all that legals, you know, got the insurance, and now it was time to get my car that I already paid for. So I go get the car. I did what any smart human being would do and take the train. Fairly cheap. When I got there, he picked me up from the train station. As we were driving to his house, he told me that I need to change the battery and possibly get an oil change. Keep in mind, he did not tell me this before I bought the car. We get to his house. I see the car. He gives me the keys. I take the keys. I hop in the car, you know, drive off in my first car ever. And where do I drive to? The gas station, because it was completely empty. The gas was completely empty. The shit was literally past E. Like, what kind of I just don't understand. And so yeah, I go to the gas station, and I have to buy windshield washer, you know, little small expenses, you know, that didn't really bother me too much. But yeah, fast forward a week later, me and my mom are sitting down talking about the car and how he told me that I needed an oil change. And then she was like, did you get the car inspected? Is there a sticker on the windshield that lets you know when to go back and get an oil change? And I was like, what sticker? Like, what are you talking? What? We did not find a sticker. And upon not finding that sticker, I then see one of the lights on the dash, one of the lights said, service engine soon. Immediately, I thought something was wrong. I thought I got scammed. And also, this is like completely random, but remember the key they gave me? Yeah, that shit is not the original key. That has no logo. That shit pissed me off so much. I don't know how I did not realize in the beginning. So yeah, I texted him. I was like, hey, is this a copy? And bro did not answer. So now we call Uncle Tev, and the first thing he says, he's like, so are you guys gonna just call me every time there's a problem? You know, this is an old car. This is not a new car. Old cars have problems. Are you just gonna call me every time there's a problem? My mom was the one talking to him on the phone, because when I tried to address the issue, I was starting like a motherfucker. Yeah, hello, yes. I know, I'm a bitch. Because, you know, I'm not the type of person to confront people. And that's a problem that I have. I just don't confront people. I may think about it. I may say it in my head. I may envision a whole scenario in my head confronting that person. But it will never happen in real life. When I do come across the opportunity to confront that specific person, I turn into a bitch. The next day, I go to the mechanics and, you know, ask for an oil change and ask them to check the battery, see if I need a new battery. And upon getting a new battery, they told me that the battery almost died. The battery almost died. So you're telling me that shit could have died at any point? I would have been stuck in the middle of the road. Family, huh? What? A family member. But yeah, to get the battery changed, you know, and the oil change, you know, it wasn't too much, you know, a couple hundred. And you know, the light that said service engine soon was gone. But the very next day, yeah, that shit came back. But I went back a week later, not because of the service engine. I went back because every time I pressed the brake on the car, that shit would vibrate. As for me not being, you know, a car person, not really knowing much about cars, I knew that shit was not supposed to happen. So I went back to the mechanics and I was like, you know, my car shakes a little when I try to brake. They check it out, they come back with 3 problems. I only gave them 1. One problem is the brakes. She told me the brakes were about to blow. The brakes were about to blow, which means at any point of me driving on the highway, the brakes could have possibly not worked. And I would have been a goner. Second problem was she told me the rear shocks need to be repaired. I had no clue what that was. And the third problem was the engine. As I said, the engine light. And she was like, the engines have like 3 sensors and one of them, blah, blah, blah. And it came to a grand total of like $1,000 something. So I did what any young adult that has no clue about cars would do. I called my mom. As I was talking to my mom, all I could think about was what Uncle Tev initially told me about the car. The first thing he told me about the car. Yeah, it's in great condition. Lying ass. And I just felt so hopeless and I feel like an idiot. How could I let this happen? And in that moment, I realized I can't trust niggas. I can't trust anyone. In that moment, I realized I gotta stop being a bitch. I can't let people just toss me around, let them do whatever. Right? Pause. But yeah, after I was done with my mom, I just ended up fixing the brakes. I need to brake. I need the brakes to work. So yeah, because I wasn't trying to spend a band in one day just to fix my car. I don't have money. I've literally spent like I think like $1,000 some on just fixing the car. Alright guys, so before I show y'all my car, I had to clean it. I showed y'all before I cleaned it. Yeah, this is what you would see. There's a lot of crumbs and yeah. And now we're here. And this is the car. Nothing too crazy, you know. I expected a, Lambo, Ferrari, Porsche, whatever, McLaren. Yeah, that wasn't it. That was not it. And so from buying a car, from getting played, I learned a lot. First takeaway from this is to make sure, before you buy a car, to make sure that your car is fully inspected. Make sure the guy takes the car to get inspected, to get oil changed, to do all that, so that you know what problems there is, and so that bro does not sell you a car that needs repairing, needs like $2K worth of repairing. That would have saved me so much time, because I don't think I would have bought the car in the first place, not gonna lie. So yeah, that's one lesson I learned. Another takeaway, another lesson I learned from this is to stop being a bitch. That's number 2. I learned that if people see that you're weak, if people see that you would just let anyone just toss you around, they will fully take advantage of you. And they see that they can say whatever they want and do whatever they want, and you'll just stand there, sit there like a bitch and don't say anything.
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
I learned that I gotta stop being a bitch. Sometimes it's okay to to shut up, but like other times, like you can't just let people toss you around. That's not how things go. That's not how life should be. And Uncle Tev literally knew I knew nothing about cars. Not a lick of information about cars. The only thing I knew was like, if the mileage is high, that shit should be cheaper. And Uncle Tev saw that I knew nothing about cars, and bro fully took advantage of that opportunity to play me like a doll. And at any point on the highway, the car could have stopped. The brakes on the car wouldn't have worked, and he just sold me the car anyways. And now he knows I don't have the balls to say anything to him. Talking about we family. You know what? I don't have the balls to confront him and be like, why the you selling me a car? When you literally said it was in great condition. I don't think that car was in great condition at all. Lastly, the last takeaway, the last lesson I learned from this situation, for me buying my first car, last takeaway is to never trust anyone. Don't trust anyone. Doesn't matter if they're family, unless they're your mom and dad. Do not trust anyone. I'm telling you, hey, just listen to me. Do not trust anyone. Do not. I'm telling you. Like, bro. I'll see y'all next time. I need a cut, bro. Damn. Yeah, okay.